So, to summarize, it all started 3 years, but those tests are still on.
But wait, how would a guy like Shono, your run-of-the-mill researcher, wouldn't have the
But what if someone
Shono knows who's got Yakuza?
Ryusuke Kido, director of the ADDC.
Oh, I see what you mean. Kido would have access to ADDC funding. There's even been talk of him having ties to the Yakuza somehow, right? I think you've cracked it, Yagami-san. It had to be Kido.
I don't know if that's really true.
Why?
Think back to the '89 press conference. You remember the look on Kido's face? He was so proud, innocent even. But if he knew about all this human experiment shit, no way he'd look like that.
Kid's got a point.
Then maybe he was only told about the experiments after the conference took place. That would still make sense, right? First, Shono gets Kido to sign off on the '89 paper and publicly gives him all the credit. Thrilled about the possibilities, Kido proudly presents the research at that press conference. There's no turning back after that, even if he found out about the experiments. That's probably how Shono got Kido on his side. He then used Kido's. It feels like all the pieces are falling into place.
That means Kido's not actually the one in charge.
Right. Shono is behind everything.
Let's say you're right. When did Shono start using this guy? When was the mole's first murder?
Probably Hashki's death 6 months ago.
And why do you say that?
Hashki inching closer to the truth about '89 is a serious problem for Shono. But as we know, Shono was in a taxi at the time of the beating. Meaning someone else must have been responsible for Hashki's death.
The man in the black raincoat. He's the mole?
Yeah, only the best of the best assassins would have the skill to do what they did to Hashki.
Can't argue with that.
Who knows how close Hashki was to finding out about the human experimentation before he died.
Yeah, and if he had, that would have been the end of the line for Shono. Seems like a plausible motive to me.
So what, everything just makes sense? I don't know.
If you have something to say...
I mean, this is still just... It all sounds almost...
What do you mean?
If Shono killed Waku-san at the AD, then Okubo, the primary suspect in the case...
Yep. Already.
But Okubo, he stabbed her over and over. Reeked of booze, too. Defend him all you want. That's why the whole thing was such a big deal. It took the death of an innocent girl for them to realize that Okubo probably did it after all. Yet here you are, claiming the court got it right, but you just don't want to feel responsible for Emi Terasawa's death.
Enough, Sugiura! You're way out of line, and you don't know...
Look, I know I get swept up in my emotions pretty... All the same, I'm trying to be fair.
Are you?
So if we want to treat Yagami-san's theory like... Then we'll have to figure out whether or not Okubo is innocent. If he
And how are you suggesting...
It's simple. We just go to Okubo and ask...
You want to talk to him face to face? A meeting with
A lawyer like you should have no problem setting...
From day one, Okubo insisted he was innocent. That he didn't kill... But I abandoned...
Fine. But that's a pretty weak... If you really want to pursue this case, you don't have a choice, Yagami.
Well?
Hoshino-kun.
Yes?
Let's go talk to Okubo.
I can try.
Thanks. Looking over the old...
All right.
Really, guys?
Oh, Yagami. You need something?
Mind if I look over a case file? The ADDC one from 3 years ago. I'm seeing Oak.
Huh?
Hold on. I'll go pull the documents up.
Thanks, Sari-san.
How's it going, Yagami-san?
Oh, not bad. What do you have there?
The files for Emi Terasawa's case. I thought they might be useful too.
Well,
Yagami-san, I think you should look them over if you're going to talk to Okubo. If you really don't need them, just leave them here. I'll put everything back later.
Emi Terasawa, 26 years old at time of death. December 2nd, 2015, about 11 p.m. Her body is found 15 stab wounds to the chest. No ash in her lungs, so she didn't inhale any smoke. Shinpei Okubo, the victim's boyfriend and roommate, was found at the scene and arrested. Murder weapon is thought to be a kitchen knife. Okubo was wasted out of his mind when firefighters...
Okubo-san is not a violent, and he hasn't even had a drink in over 6 years.
But Okubo claims he doesn't remember ever drinking. He's pleaded innocent.
Yagami, do you really have to do
Yeah.
But why?
I need to know if he was really innocent. I'm going to find the...
What?
Well, either way, I never felt like I closed the book on this. I mean, yeah, but we didn't have anything to... The only thing the ruling, meaning for the public, Okubo got laid off.
Yeah.
The guy barely even went outside. Couldn't sleep at night without his... But I didn't ask him about any of that. Until one day, Okubo gave up his years of sobriety. Started...
And what?
I helped set a murderer loose on the world. In other words, Emi died because of me.
I'm not gonna let you do this to yourself. Do you remember your dad's last case? Must have been almost 20 years ago. Do you, Yagami?
Yeah. No way I could forget.
The defendant in that case raped and murdered a 15-year-old girl. At least that's what they said he did. Everyone in the damn country thought that guy deserved to get executed. No thoughts of innocence, except from your dad. You know how it all went down after that. He gave the prosecution what for. Your dad never compromised his ideals, no matter what. He said a lawyer's job isn't discovering the truth, or even knowing it. It's proving the prosecution doesn't have enough evidence to convict. Do you understand? That's how he saw the defense's role. It takes some real guts to say that. That's why you looked up to him. And you would have never become an attorney without his influence.
In the beginning, sure I did. But you know, a lot happened afterward. With my dad, and with me too.
Yeah,
possible the defendant actually was guilty. Raped the girl, killed her in cold blood. He disappeared almost immediately after the trial. So, all of the hatred, all of the anger people felt was thrown onto my dad. Not long after, he and my mom were killed by the victim's father.
Even so, I don't think your old man did anything wrong. Our job's showing that the prosecution doesn't have enough evidence, not finding the truth. And when you defended Okubo the first time around, that's exactly what you did. Listen to me, Yagami. You didn't do anything wrong.
Sure, I get what you're saying. But a girl burned to death because I was good at my job. Ever think about how that feels?
What?
It's easy to sit back and tell me I did nothing wrong, but put yourself in my shoes. Could you say you did the right—
That's enough!
For as long as I— Yagami speaking.
Hey, it's Hoshino. I've arranged our chat with Oak. Meet me at the taxi stand on West Shichifuku Street.
Got it. Thanks. I appreciate—
I've said all I wanted to say. I half knew you weren't gonna listen anyway.
Genda-sensei. You and I both saw what happens when you don't pursue the truth.